Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ClaritySoft's weekly webinar training session. I'm Susan Arnold from ClaritySoft, Implementation Specialist here, and our topic this week is Intro to the Marketing Module. We will be introducing you to the marketing module, its functions and features, and how to set it up and prepare it for your use. The topics we'll be covering this week are, first of all, a quick explanation of the difference between SMTP and Clarity Mail. In your ClaritySoft, you are able to send emails out through your Outlook or your Gmail by setting up email settings in the settings section. That would be your SMTP. These are usually limited in the number of emails that you can send out at one time. So they can possibly not be useful when you want to send out a large batch of emails to your customers or prospects. Clarity Mail, which is what you set up in the marketing module, allows you to send your emails out through our email server, so much like what Constant Contact or MailChimp would do. And you set up your email addresses you wish to send from, and then they go out through our server, not through your normal Outlook or Gmail. So we will talk about that, how to do the mail setup. We will then learn how to build an email template in the marketing module. There is a template builder that allows you to build very nice graphic-based templates. So we will go through and learn how to do that, adding your graphic and text blocks, formatting them, and then applying styles within there. Then after you've built your template, saving it, testing it, you can send a test email and preview it in 3 different modes of smartphone, tablet, and computer, so you can see how it's going to look when the recipient receives the mail. Once you've created a template, you can share it with other users in ClaritySoft. If they have access to the marketing module, then you can share the templates that have been created so they don't have to create them themselves. And then, of course, the important part is learning how to send the email out. Select your contacts that you wish to send to, and then, excuse me, select your template and send it out as an email campaign. Then for sending, you can schedule different emails to go out at certain times, and we'll see how you do that. And then once the emails have been sent or the campaigns have been sent, going back to the campaign, looking at the statistics, how many people read it, how many people received it, how many unsubscribed, how many emails bounced, that sort of thing. So you get your analytics for each campaign. So we have a lot to cover. But it's pretty easy and straightforward once we get going. So let me switch to ClaritySoft. And currently I'm in the contacts module in ClaritySoft. The contacts module is where you will be emailing from, because that is where all your email addresses are for your contacts. So in your contacts module, you want to make sure that you have accurate email addresses. And then the other thing that we recommend is that you create some sort of a category type field that would allow you to pick, well, what type of emails do you want sent to each individual person? I've created a field here called communications. And if I go into my contact record, my communications field is a drop-down multi-select that allows me to check off what lists that person should be on, so that when I check them off, then I can filter. If I filter for promotional, this person comes up. If I filter for newsletter, this person comes up. If I filter for holiday, this person will not come up. So this is a suggestion to get some sort of a category type field. It could be by industry, it could be, by the job function or role, anything that makes it easy for you to pull up a list to get your list down to the specific people that you wish to email. And if your marketing person is doing this, they probably will want this type of field in order to be able to hone the list down to what they want. So that you would want to create first. Fill in the data. So you can see that I've got my data here and pretty much ready to roll. Then for the marketing module, just to mention, this is an additional module, so it's possible you don't have it in your database, in which case you would want to check with your account rep and ask about having it turned on in your database and talk with them. When it is turned on, it will appear here in your navigation panel. Now mine says marketing, yours may say email tracking or email manager. So just go to the one that says email tracking or email manager or marketing, whichever one it is, click on it, and that will take you to the module. If it does say email manager here in the navigation panel, when you get to the module itself, it will say marketing up here. If you don't have the marketing module, this will still say email manager, and the only thing that you will see here is an email tracking list, okay? This tracks all of the emails that have been sent out of ClaritySoft over a particular span of time. So if I choose everything from this year, I'm going to see all the emails I have sent from within ClaritySoft out. And you also can select which user you want to view so that you can get it down to yourself and see only the emails that you have sent out throughout the week or the year, whatever. What's nice about this is that when you send something, first of all, you can see that it indeed did complete. And then when a person clicks on the email in their inbox, it will ping back to say that they read it. So you can see these two were read back in April and May at the end of the month, so that you know that they received it and they indeed did click on it at least. And then it tells you which module it was sent from here. So everyone has this email tracking, but not everyone has the marketing functionality. All right, so when we get here, you see some different tabs that have to do with the marketing module and the setup. The first thing that you want to do is go to the Clarity Mail tab. And the Clarity Mail tab allows you to add email addresses that you will be sending from, that will, when you select them, flip you over to the server and send it out through the server from that particular email. And all you need to do is click the Add button, put the person's name, an email address, and click Save. You may add as many emails as you'd like. So if you have an info at, or a sales at, or a marketing at, whatever, or you can put all your salespeople's names so that you can send the emails from each particular salesperson. You may add as many as you need. All right. So if I add one more here, you can see. Oops, I put that in the wrong thing. Let me cut it. Okay. So you can see they just continue to add. If you decide after a while you don't want a particular email, you can slide over here and choose to delete it. So that's there. So that's your first step, is to set that up. Then you want to go back, and the next step would be to create a template. And when you get to Templates tab, you have My Templates, which show you the templates that you have created, a shared templates, which show you any templates that someone else has created and then shared with you to be able to use. And then you have the create template. So here are some, you can see that you can create some nice ones. The two on the outside edges are much nicer than the one in the middle. I created the one in the middle and our graphics person created the one on the outside. So we're gonna give you a good overview here on how to create a template. Some of, how creative you are kind of depends on your own skills here. So we're gonna create a template. And note that when the template builder or email builder opens, it's actually opening in its own web page window. So we have ClaritySoft here, and we have the email builder or template builder open in a new window. So just pay attention to that because sometimes you can get multiple windows going here. All right, so our layout here in the email builder, template builder, we have a blue line across the top, which basically has all the different options that we can click on and do. So we have blocks. Blocks here show us all of the different styles of graphic and text blocks that we can select from to create our document. Once we select a block, then we can go to the Content tab, and then that allows us to control things in the block, such as, do I want a title? Do I want the button? Do I want the picture on the left or the right? So you get to do that, and then the style allows you to set the font and the colors and things like that. So if I want to pick a block, and let's say I want to do a header, I can click the add button and it places it over here on the right hand side where I'm building my template. And when this is selected, a block is selected over here, notice these dark blue vertical bars on either side. And when I point to it, I get some buttons. This allows me to delete the block. This allows me to copy the block or duplicate it. And then I want to click here and I can take out my text, and we're going to make this, we're going to sort of create that coffee one. So I can do that. And then once I've done that, you can see over here, it goes to the Content tab and it says it's a header, and it doesn't have any editable properties because there's nothing to turn on and off. But I can go to the style, and then I can choose things here. For example, what font would I like? Maybe I want a different font than what's selected. Well, let's pick something that looks different. Okay, and then I can pick a different color. So if I'm in a coffee theme, I'll go a little more brown. And then I can pick the size. And then I can choose my alignment. So I can make it left, I can make it center or right. So just like you would normally do in a word processing type document. So once I have that block in, I can come back over to the left and select the blocks tab again up here, and then choose what block I would like to put in next. Well, maybe the next block I want to put in is simply some text. So I can click add. It will lay it in here, and then I can type my new text. So I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit. Let's see. I was gonna see if I could. Oh, it's pasting. Okay, there it goes. I'm copying and pasting from a Word document. So it's putting this in here. I don't think this is doing it the way I want to do it. So let's just delete this. It's creating something I don't want. Let's try this again. Okay. So let's say I want to put in some text and your own personal roast, and then I can press the enter key and I can continue to type my text. Okay, I can do it into each and every cup. That's good. So I would type my text, and then again, I have some formatting here. While the text is selected, I could make something bold if I wanted to, and click on the bold. It will make that selected text bold. I can apply different formats here. There's some styles that you can do. So you can experiment with this and create your text. If you want to change the color of your text, then you can come over here to the style and then change either the font, change the color. I'm going to make this kind of crazy, guys, because I want you to just see how it works. And I'm changing the color of the text as I go down. Now, here's something to pay attention to when you're in the style. There are two buttons here. This one with the multiple blocks means global. So if this is highlighted, which it is right now, and you change a color or a font, it's going to change it globally. If you click on this block, that will change locally for that one part. So you do need to pay attention to this, because sometimes you change something and you didn't mean for it to change everything. And so now if I come over here and choose a different color, it won't change it for the whole document. It will change it here. Now it is changing it for the whole block. But what you do is you just need to pay attention here, because it will do it everywhere, or it will do only in the local block. So pay attention to that. And then you just keep working your way down. So if I want to do another block, maybe I want to pull in a picture. So once I drop in my picture block, I can click here to upload a picture, which it's going to take me out. And let's see, what do I want here? That will drop that picture in. And so I have that. If I want to add a link to the image, then I can type a link over here, and then when the person receives it and they click on the link, it might take them to my website or somewhere else. So you can choose that. You can have, just keep building down here. So I go back to my blocks, and let's experiment with this one. So this one is a combination of 3 images, some subtitles, and some text, and then buttons. So when I'm on this one, this is where this content can come into play, because now I can see that I have show title, show button, show image. If I don't want these little titles, then I can click here to turn it off. And notice how the title part goes away. If I turn it back on, they come back on. If I don't want the buttons, because I'm not going to do that, I can turn them off. So you want to look at your blocks, get the basic layout of the block that you want, and then you can control what you see or don't see by going to the content tab and showing something or not showing something. So if I decided I don't want the images, I just want 3 blocks of text, then I could do that. And then I can turn off the buttons if I want. Don't need those. So you go over there and you fix things. Now notice that that red text is down here because that was set as a global, but this is blue up here because I set it to local. So that's what happened when I first set that red text. It was a global change. And so it's down here for everything else. And that's why when you're in that style, you want to make sure you're doing local to the block or global to the whole document. Okay? So I think you can probably get the picture that you just work your way through building your template. And then as you're working, you do have undos here where you can undo back. I can go back 22 steps here, but I can't pick which one to go to. So just like in other documents, you have to go back, 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 back in sequence. And then over here, I can, well, here I can view my template. I have a preview button here. So it's this little rectangle. And when you click it, you're going to see a panel and it will show you the preview. Right now, the preview is for a phone. If I click on this, this is what it's going to look like on a tablet. And if I click on this button, is what it's going to look like on a normal computer monitor. So this is nice from the standpoint of being able to see, well, if they look at it on their phone, is it going to look good on the phone? This is important because that's where people look at a lot of their things anymore. So you have that option. And then when you don't want to see that panel anymore, you just simply click on this button to turn it off. You can see when you turn it on, it's highlighted, has a little line under it, and then you click it and the little line goes away. And then gallery, the purpose of this is if you are working on something that has a lot of graphics in it, a lot of pictures, and maybe you have several versions of the same picture that you're not sure which ones you want to use, you can go to the gallery and then you can pick files that you want to display on your gallery. So if I brought in this one, I think I can do a couple at the same time. So it pulls them in for you to see, and I can say, oh, well, that's the one I want here, or that's the one if I turn the picture block back on. So it has your gallery here, and then it's much easier than constantly going out and searching for it. So you can set up your gallery before you start working on your template and have it available to you. Now, one thing to know is that the gallery does not get saved with the template. So if I only half finished this template, and I come back to it tomorrow, my gallery will not still be there. I will have to reset it up. So just be aware of that, that it's there while you're open and working in the template, but as soon as you save and close it, it will clear itself out. So that is there for you to use. And then when you're ready to save it, you click your save button over here. And you'll give it a name. So I'll just call it coffee. And the category right now is default. The template access can be private or shared. you can make it private, then you can share it later. And then the subject, this is going to be the subject line in the email when you go to use this template in the email. So if you wanted to put in here coffee break news or something like that, and then you can make it, which unsubscribe type do you want it to be? Promotional emails, newsletter, support, or commercial emails. And what will happen if you, let's say you send a person both promotional emails and newsletters, they could decide to unsubscribe from promotional emails, but they would still continue to receive newsletter emails unless they unsubscribe from that. So you pick which unsubscribe type you want this email to have. And then, well, actually, this seems like it may end up being more a newsletter. So I'll do it that way. So you save your template, and then it's going to return you back out here, and you have it. So if, you know, it's the end of the day, you go home, you come back in tomorrow, you can come back and open your template again. Now, when you're opening your template, you just click right on the icon to open it, or you come down here to the row action button, and you can open the builder, and that will go back into the builder and let you edit it. This lets you preview it. So it just opens it in the window and lets you preview it. You can rename it. You can add a description to it. Here's where you can share it. So if I wanted to share this with other users, then I would click this and I can say, well, I want to share it with these 3 people because they might use this template and then share. And what happens with them, when they go to the marketing module, they will see this template under their shared folder, not under the My Templates. So the My Templates is what you create, and the shared are the things that are shared with you by other users in the system. Okay? So I have that, and again, if I wanted to reopen it, it's going to open it up in its own window again and take me back into the email builder so that I could continue editing it and working with it until I have it. Now, once I have it all saved and the way I want it, one of the things you probably want to do before you go and mail it out to several hundred or more people is test it. So you can click this test button and then put in the email address to send it to. And it will send a test copy. And then over here, I should receive one here shortly. Oops. It'll come here in a minute. Oh, there. Nope, not quite yet. Now, one of the things that does happen, and it happened here, is many times this test will land in your junk folder. So you need to check there, and then you can move it into your inbox. The reason is, at least in my case here, this is not a terribly good template. So it's saying, whoa, this isn't so good. Let me open this here. Pull it over so you can see it, and then download the pictures. So this is one thing that occurs now, and there are some tips and tricks. We have a document on that we can send to you that gives you some tips and tricks on designing email templates for mass emails because there are some rules that all the systems out there are checking, and if you don't hit on the rules correctly, it will direct things to your junk folder a lot of times. Now, one of the reasons it's doing it is you can see up here, it has this kind of quirky email address information up here. So that's probably why. Now, when this actually sends, it does not send that way, and you'll see that when we do it. But at least you can see how this is going to look in the email when the person receives it as a test. So that is available to you to do. Okay? All right. And then if you want to download a copy of it to save and print, you can do that. You can click here, and then it will download it, and then you can right-click on it to print it or save it. So you can do a save as, or you can print it. You do that. All right. Okay, so we've got our template. I'm going to close this and return back to here. And now we actually want to create an email campaign to send out. So I'm going to return to my contacts module. And in this particular module, I have set up a set of contacts that are all me. So if I look up Susan, and then I have some multiple email addresses to email to. So I have my email list. Another way that I could have found this is in the communications list, I set up that they were new product info. So I could go to my search, advanced search. This is what you would do. And go to my communications field and select which list and search. Now, if you wanted to also hone the list on some other things, you can. But so now I have it, and you can see everything is new product info. And I have the same list I had before because they're all Susan's. But I'm ready to email. I select all of them by clicking in the checkbox at the upper left. Go to list actions. Now, notice you have email contacts and you have marketing email. If you select email contacts, that is going to send them out through your Outlook or your Gmail. And if you have 5,000 of them, do not want to do that. You want to go to marketing email. Now, if you don't see marketing email there in that list, that means you don't have the marketing module. So that's a quick way to check for sure. Now I get this message. Do I want to send to all selected records that are marked as checked or all filtered records? Well, I only have, 7 records, and I'm displaying 100 here. So all records marked as checked is perfect. But if I had 500 records selected, then I would definitely want to pick all filtered records because these check boxes do not go beyond the first page. So that's why we have this option here for you to pick. And then you can click apply. An email window opens. If you've done emails from ClaritySoft using your email contacts, it looks the same. And you have a list of all your people. And then down here, it tells you how many records you have. And then this from is where you're going to pay attention now, because you are going to click here and you will now see the 2 ClaritySoft Mail email addresses that you set up, because that's what you want to be able to send from. So I'm going to choose from my address. The subject line I don't need to type right now because my next step is to go find my template. So I go up here to the top, click on template. It's going to show me all the templates that I have. And just to be consistent, to use the one that I just created, I'm going to click on the ugly one. So, and you want to click on the icon, not the link down here. So always click on the icon. And it now drops it into position. Notice it put the subject line in that I saved when I saved the file, and it also dropped that into the campaign name by default. So I could say Coffee Break News, let's say October 2019. That's the name of my campaign. The recipient is not going to see that. The recipient is only going to see the subject. So I check everything that I want, make sure it's all good, okay? And then down here, I have a send button. Now, the send, if I simply click send, it's going to send immediately, which is fine. Or I have the option of clicking on the downward triangle here, the list button, and I get when do I want to send it? In an hour, in 2 hours, 4 hours, tomorrow morning, 2 days, 4 days, at a specific time. So you can pick when you want to send this out. So maybe this one, the mailing that you're doing now, you want to send right now, but then maybe you have another template that you want to send out in 2 days. So you could immediately pull up the other template with the same list of people and schedule it for 2 days out. So you could schedule multiple emails right here that will go out over the span of time that you say. So I'm just going to click send because I want to send them. And it tells me I'm about to send to 7 contacts. So you at least get a chance to back out. And so what it has done now is it's sent those emails out to the 7 people. And under the record, once these send, this might need to refresh a little bit, you will see under email campaigns tab in each of those contact records that Coffee Break News October 2019 will be there. So we can go back to the marketing module. And here we can see it's queued. So it's waiting to go out, and once it gets in line at the email server, it will go out. And then it will tell me that it's completed. Okay, so it says there are 7 outgoing. We haven't delivered any yet because it's still in the line. So it's possible we got in line behind somebody else sending things out. But as you're sending your emails out of the marketing module, over here in the upper right corner, it's going to constantly give you an update of how many emails you have sent. So they're starting to come in now, I can see them. You will always know how many emails have been sent and how many you still have, or how many total you have. And this is a per month number. So you can see I've got 50,000 emails I could send out per month. And I'm not going to get anywhere close to that with this. But anyway, they're going out. I'm receiving them. So it's probably taking some time to process that they've actually gone out. But if I open one, there's one that went out. So you can see here now, it's coming to, this is going to Susan at claritysoft.com, okay, on behalf of Susan Arnold at Susan at claritysoft.com, which is confusing because I'm sending it to myself. But that's how it will show up at the recipient level, okay? So they will go out and the recipient will receive them, and then hopefully they will read what there. Let me refresh this. Okay, so I've refreshed it, and now it says there were 7 outgoing. It delivered 85%, and 14% bounced. 1 email bounced. I purposely did that. I made 1 email address bad, so it would bounce and come back. Okay, and then I can see when I go here to the campaign overview, I can see how many were delivered. 6 were delivered and 1 was dropped or bounced. And so I can come down here and see there were 7 outgoing, 6 were delivered, 1 bounced. So those are the statistics that you will start to get back. And when you click on this, it will show you which one it was. So right there, I made it Susan A at claritysoft.com. I purposely changed it so it would bounce. So you'll get a list of all your bounces, okay? And if you click on these, you'll get a list of the ones that went through. So you can start seeing what went out, what was delivered, how many opens will start to come back as you click on these things. So let me open another one. So there's the number 2 one sent. And I'm just opening these so they ping back. Go to this email. And there's the other one. So they should start to ping back that they've been open as it refreshes. You might have to continue to click the refresh button up here to make it refresh things as you're working. But you can start to see what happens. Okay, so that's there. Then recipient tab here shows you all the recipients. Okay, and then you can see, did they read it? Did they click on things within the email, and then did they unsubscribe? So it begins to give you all these statistics and how many were delivered. These are the delivered ones. This is the bounced one, or I guess dropped. There's there, because it wasn't right. Any that are still in process or queued. How many were read? That hasn't come back yet. How many clicks there were. So that will begin to come back to you so that you see the information here under the campaign. And with each campaign, if you want to add additional label to it, if you want to view the contacts for the campaign, what this will do is it will take you to the contacts module, and you can choose, you want to see all the contacts, any of those that were unread, because maybe then you want to contact those people and say, hey, I've sent you an email. So you can go back through here, pick what you want to see, and when you click apply, it will actually take you to the contacts module. Okay, now what I should have done is cleared this out to all contacts, and then there it still stays there. So those are the people that were sent to. So you've got your statistics coming back for your campaigns. You can view your campaigns, and you can, up here, you can choose, well, you know, what was sent this week, what was sent this month, so on and so forth. So you've got all of these here. Which ones are scheduled? If you had some scheduled, then you'd see which ones are scheduled and when, so that you'd know what you've got going there. So a lot of information here that you can get, okay? And because I don't do email blasts, I don't have a whole lot of data in here, so I'm not terribly exciting with stuff. All right, so now A/B testing we haven't talked about. The purpose of this is if you do create two different templates that are somewhat the same, but you just design them differently because you're trying to figure out which one grabs people's attention better. So if you create two different templates and you send out two different campaigns with those two different templates, once you get the results, you can compare one campaign with another one and see which one has the better statistics. And then that will help you hone your design of templates and hopefully up the amount of people that are reading and looking at your documents as you send them out. So that's the purpose of that, where you can see those analytics between two campaigns. Then Document Manager, I want to touch on that one. This one allows you to save documents that might be brochures or special documents that at some point you or your sales team might want to send to a customer or a prospect. So you can upload different documents, and you can upload up to 500 megabytes of documents here. So if you can create a folder. I've got a folder here called Promotional Materials, and then you click on Upload a File and then Browse to go find the file. And I've got this resource guide document here, and then I click Open, and it will then put it, oops, once I click Save. So this is kind of like using the Attachments tab in our records. And so you've got this document here, and I can have it, I didn't put it in a folder because I didn't open the folder first, but I can have separate documents or have them grouped in folders. When I want to send this to somebody, I click on the row action button and I can say email, or I can copy the link, and then I can send it to the person and then click OK. And it just simply sends it as an attachment to the person. You don't get an opportunity to type a message, but at least it's a quick and easy way to say, hey, I will send you this document or this brochure very quickly, and off it goes. And then you can have those files in ClaritySoft ready for use. Okay. So that's up here, unsubscribe contacts, unsubscribe leads. With each of your templates that you're sending out, especially when you're doing larger email blasts, you are required to have an unsubscribe. So people can unsubscribe from those mailings. And you do have to pay attention to that, because that is a requirement anymore on larger email blast types of things, and you can get in trouble if you don't have them. So you want to make sure all the templates that you build in here automatically have the unsubscribe at the bottom of the template. So you should be okay. But when someone does unsubscribe, you can see a list of all of the people who have unsubscribed by clicking this button, and this will show you all of the contacts who have unsubscribed and the type. Remember, we had promotional, newsletter, support, etc. So you can then see them here, and they won't, even if they come up in a filter and you're sending another newsletter out, that person, if they've unsubscribed from newsletters, will not be sent a newsletter anymore. And then this is for leads. So you can see them here. This would be all of them. You also can see this in your contacts module, where you have, now I forget where it is. Here it is, under the search, unsubscribe contacts. So it's the same window as you would see in the marketing module, but you can see it here as well. So that is there. And then also notice that you can select a person in the list by clicking in the checkbox that would be next to their name and resubscribe them if they decided they wanted to get the mailings again. So that's there and able to be easily managed. Now what I want to do is see if so our email campaigns tab now has updated itself. So there's the coffee break news that was delivered today. Okay. And the owner was the administrator who sent it out. So each one of these contacts will have that email under their email campaign tab. So this is strictly for marketing emails that are sent out. So any user in the system then can see what email campaigns were sent to any person in the database. So that makes it nice for the users, because you might have a marketing person who's doing all the emailing of marketing materials. And so the users, the sales team might not know when things were sent out, so they can go and look at the contact record or in the marketing module as well to see what campaigns have been sent out. So that's about all I have for today. Hopefully this gives you a good start with trying to use the marketing module and exploring with it. Like I said, there are some rules. If you want the rules, we can send them to you. That might be a good request to do at info@claritysoft.com. If you send a request to say, I'd like to hear, receive the marketing rules for sending out email blasts that will help you avoid some pitfalls, then let us know and we'll be happy to send it to you. So with that, thank you for attending as usual. And if you need some extra help with this, you can go to support at 888-838-7487 extension 2, or email support@claritysoft.com, or send us information at info@claritysoft.com, and use our knowledge base. We recently changed the support portal to knowledge base, but it's still in the same spot. Click on the question mark in your ClaritySoft and go to knowledge base, and then look up marketing, and you'll find all the information about the marketing module there as well. So with that, I will let you go and have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully we'll talk to you next week.